you're big, and it's like, oh, don't worry, I'm not going to hurt you. Not, wow, he has a 9-inch dick. Like, don't tell us the size. I want them to be real, at the same time some sort of escape. So even if you're giving me that feeling of escapism, give me real shit. Hello and welcome to my side of the internet. I am Camaa, the eccentric diva, and on this channel we talk about writing, books, publishing, sex, and sex education. So today we are going to be talking about unrealistic sexual cliches or whatever, like stuff some authors write in books that I've read, that I've seen, and I'm sure like you have at one point or the other read in books or in steamy romances that I'm just like, seriously? Oh yeah, all right. Like and I think I have 8 points written down. Yeah, and I'm going to be sharing that. I have it written down or written down. It might not be all, maybe I'll do a part 2, but I really love to hear from you. If this is your first time watching my videos, please hit the subscribe button. Yes, thanks for watching. And for returning subscribers, I really appreciate the fact that you took your time to watch this video again. And please share with someone, like, subscribe, and let's grow this channel. Let's do this. So the first thing I want to talk about is the 9-inch dick. Like, seriously, the way some authors write about the sizes of dicks, like, it's everywhere. Like, you go to this particular location, New York City, for example, and you find men littered across the street with 9 dick inches. Yet we see books with 9-inch long dicks that are so wide. Like, seriously, do you want to kill someone's daughter? You want to, like, even 7-inch dicks are like causing, like 8 inches are causing issues for people. And now you're telling us that this guy's dick is 9 inches long and it's great, it's so wide, and you know, it's like, you know, someone is impaling you with it. I swear to God and I swear to you, it is going to make sex so painful for women to spend time with, except like their lubricant game is strong or they get wet, like very like extraordinarily wet, because sex can be painful if the right instruments are not right enough. So that being said, except, you know, I don't know. Let me just move on to the next one. I'm coming. Let me check my notes for the next one. Oh, the next one is actually the fact that these characters do ejaculate or come together. Like, that is so unrealistic. Like, according to statistics, like, I have videos on this, I can't remember the numbers, but it is hard for women, people with vaginas, to ejaculate from penetration. Most women ejaculate from like hand jobs, fingering, or you know, long hand jobs. I'm not talking about like 2 minutes, because some books actually write finger that, and she just came like that. Like, it takes a while. We're talking about like 2-3 minutes, 5 minutes. Some people go, except the foreplay has been in session for a while. Now that they came together and they both screamed their release, it is so unrealistic. If it happens to a married couple that has been, like, if a couple has been married for more than 40 years, the chances or the probability that these couples would actually come together in all the 100 million times they had sex is like 0.5 out of 10. Yeah. I just realized that my microphone was not actually live to me, and I hope the sound has been good so far. But let me continue my rant, because I really came to rant about these books. Next up is books where the characters are always fucking in between arguments. Like, it's just so unrealistic. They're having an argument, the next thing they're fucking. That is toxic relationship. That is so toxic. Like, if that's like your go-to, if you love that one, it's fine, but not all through the book. Every time they argue, they are fucking. They argue, fuck. Once you see the characters arguing, you know that they are ready to fuck. Like, I understand these enemies to lovers, but seriously, we need to start, you know, considering the mental health of readers because that's not sending off a good signal. But yeah, calm down in that. And then there's this one of, you know, I love, like, even personally, I love the idea of spontaneous sex anywhere, at the mall, in the, what they call it, at the mall, in the cinema, but having sex in the hospital where we brought someone or someone has been, you know, taken into the ward, and we're having, like, that's one of the most unhygienic places to have sex. That's just like my own personal, you know, pet peeve. But like having sex in those, if it was like pediatric, you know, some, like, it's just, yeah, the smell, like sex. With sex, all your senses are open, except like it's a medical romance where it's normal for them. But like normal people that go to the hospital because, you know, they're going through trying times, you now make them have sex. I know I read this somewhere, I think in Tessa Bailey's books. I'm sorry for mentioning it, but I was just like, oh, yucky. Then the one where people have sex in bathrooms, like public bathrooms, like at a club or at a restaurant. I think for a high-end restaurant, it makes sense to me because I also want to try that one time in my life. But like at a club, like a normal club, people are like, it got to a point when I first got to the US, I used to watch out for this type of stuff. Like, I want to see people making out in toilets because it doesn't really happen. I've seen people making out like on the dance floor. Like, these guys were literally having sex on the dance floor at the club in the US, and that sounded very realistic. I'm sure they were like stupidly drunk, but that bathroom where the lights are not even properly on, you don't know what you're stepping on, you don't know what you're leaning on. It's so, like, I don't care how passionate these characters are, it's just not hygienic. Then there's also the part where others don't mention the queefing sounds, the farting sounds, the slapping sounds. Like, I love writing about that. Like, my characters are always like, oh, I can't wait to feel the slap of his body on my ass or something like that, because it sounds realistic to me. Because sex doesn't just come with the grunts and the and the girl. There's also the, like, the annoying clapping sounds of like skin on skin, of the queefs, the farting, the accidental farts too. Like, they're not intentional. There's also the sweat part where someone is dripping on you, and sometimes it might get irritating or annoying, because maybe at the end of this video I should have found out that maybe I'm more of a very health conscious person. But I feel, you know, you should write about these things because it's realistic for people to go into like bedrooms. Like, a younger me, when I read romance, I was not in the legal age to start reading stuff like that, because there's some porn books out there. And if I take that mindset before I got recalibrated at some point in my life by doing my own personal research, which most people don't do, thank God I'm here to also share with you, people might go in search of sex or wanting to, you know, explore their sexuality and find it unfulfilling, because they're like, why is there so much noise? Why is this person queefing? She's so dirty. Queefing is a good stuff. It happens to the best of us. And why is this guy so sweaty? Or why is she so sweaty? Geez, this person is putting in the work. Sweat, it drops, it drips. Well, yeah, there's something else again. The goofiness and the awkwardness while having sex. Like, people plan to have sex, and when they get in there, it doesn't happen as it's, you know, as they've imagined it. Maybe something doesn't come off. That's why sometimes I love romantic comedies that have sex in them, because you just laugh at the characters, you know, trying to make do with what they have. But yeah, some eroticas don't even go into that, about the awkwardness in their conversations. Like, if people are going for one night stands, do they plan to have their legs shaved already? Like, seriously? Like, we don't see the insecurity there, or I don't see the insecurity there. It's always like, oh, perfect abs, everything is perfect, and they're having a one night stand. Let us see the fact that, okay, this guy has hair on his chest and you don't like it, but because he's pretty good on the bed, okay, I'll take that. Or she, I don't know, just something to make it feel realistic and not just paint this person to be all perfect, because everybody is not always on their 100% on a normal day. But this is just me, because I love realistic stories, even though I'm reading them to escape. Well, I want them to be real at the same time, some sort of escape. So even if you're giving me that feeling of escapism, give me real shit. Next up is talking about sexual health. Like, people hardly talk about, I think times are changing and people do like consent and sexual health. Oh, I'm clean. I don't want to use the condom, or I'm clean but I'm going to use condom, and then that leads to birth control as well too, especially for one night stand novels. Like, no talk of birth control, because these things people are reading, you don't know who is reading, you don't know if it is 12-year-old me again reading, and I'm insinuating and imbibing all these things, and I'm going out there at whatever age I decide to get it, and I am doing it the wrong way. So as much as you want to entertain, please be realistic when it comes to sex, because sex is a very important part of life, and if we get it wrong, it might be hard to get it right in the future. And finally, conversations. I think I've spoken about conversations, yeah, but this makes me laugh. Like, I literally I literally laugh my ass out whenever I read books where the characters are having sex and she's like, well, why? And I'm like, do real people say this? Even in porn, when you watch porn videos, like, people hardly say shit like that. So sometimes the conversations are not realistic, except that is how the characters have been written to be, like, from the beginning of the novel. But except that's just how the person is doing sex. But most books have that, and it's just so weird and strange where you hear some people say, fuck me harder, fuck my kitty, like, stroke me, like, how does it sound realistic? But when we look at things like, oh, you're so wet, that sounds very realistic. When you see things like, oh my god, what is it? You're big, and it's like, oh, don't worry, I'm not going to hurt you. Not, wow, he has a 9-inch dick. Like, don't tell us the size. Just let us know that, yes, it's bigger than what she's used to, or what he's used to, or she's sleeker, or like. But yeah, that being said, I'm not saying anybody has written any bad book. I'm just stating my personal pet peeves about, some steamy romance books and eroticas I've read in my lifetime, and things I'm just like, as an adult looking back on, I'm like, hell no. That being said, I hope you've been, able to get a thing or two that will help you while you write or while you're reading and will orientate you. Please watch my sex educational videos and learn more about sex, what to expect, what to know, and the reality of things. And don't stress yourself too much about whether or not you're having too much sex or too little sex or good sex or bad sex. You are the determining factor of everything that is going down, because it's your body. That being said, please hit the subscribe button, like, share, comment. Let me know what you think about this video and about, this topic that we are discussing right here. Until my next video, please enjoy the videos on my channel. Ciao, keep reading and keep writing.